Can't wait.
All right, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites. We come in week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom, which you call America. But if you read the scriptures and you have eyes to see and ears to hear, you'll know this place being the daughter of Babylon, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, so forth. Yeah. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace and salutation to you like the Achion, across the four corners of this earth, preaching this word of sincerity and truth. I was gonna bring out some scriptures going into the collapse of this society. And you can actually see the stuff going on right now. That's if you have eyes to see and ears to hear. You know, the Lord prophesied this stuff getting ready to happen, like when you go to Matthew the 24th chapter. You know, you see uproars of people, wars and rumors of war, okay? Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. And you got a scenario that happened a few days ago where Hillary Clinton, you know, she had, it was 9/11, you know, September 11th, and you know, she, I guess, passed out and went to her car and stuff, and people going around saying she's sick, she only has like a year or something to live. You know, Apostle Nahar went into that. But if you was to actually look at that video, you can see her body like, it was like, I don't know what it's called, but I wish there was some around. But it's like, if you were to watch the video, they had her body like propped up on the shit, and it was like she was stiff, like she was kind of dead already.
It was like a mannequin.
Like a mannequin, like lifeless, no life to it at all, period. And if you watch, I don't know if y'all watch the Dabu 7 channel, you know, not glorifying the dude or anything, but he puts out some pretty good videos. He had actually put a video out where it actually, it was news reporters, it was like a news broadcast. And they talked about, the death of Hillary Clinton, and then they had cut him off, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, how do you have information like that? It shows you something big is going on. But it just ultimately shows you that this infrastructure is getting more tackier and tackier and tackier. Okay, you see this devil's infrastructure collapsing within itself. You know, it's to the point where it's a joke. Like, in all actuality, I'm really interested to see how these next few months play out. When it comes to the presidential election in November, you know what I mean? And the whole Hillary Clinton situation right now, you know, it's like, I really want to know what they're gonna do. You know, I really want to see if they're really gonna kick martial law or push forward to the point where they'll keep Barack Obama in the office, or if they don't do it and Donald Trump will become president. You know what I mean? Because, you know, he's the full epitome of an Edomite. You know, he's ready to hit that big red button. He's the example of bring America back, white privilege, white pride. You know, so with that being the case, man, I'm gonna start this off with Genesis chapter 27, and we're gonna start at verse 35.
This is Genesis chapter 27, starting at verse 35. And he said, thy brother came with subtlety.
Now they're talking about Jacob, you know, because when you go into that name Jacob, it means supplanter. You know, so he pretty much tricked them. This is going into selling the birthright. You know, because Esau's a cunning hunter, he was out hunting, and Jacob was supposed to get the birthright ultimately, you know what I'm saying? So he had came to him with some raw pottage, some red meat and lentils. You know, and Esau, this shows you how carnal this man is as well. He was willing to give up something as precious as a birthright, something that will sustain, something that will benefit your whole nation for generations and generations. We're talking about the promise of the Most High. And he was willing to take that away just for something of the now, which was raw meat and lentils, which ultimately goes into the carnality of this man. When you go into Hebrews, it talks about no man being as profane as Esau, which means outside of the temple. Right. You know, if you're willing to turn away something as glorious as a birthright, as a kingdom, just for some raw meat and lentils, it shows you that this man shouldn't have it in from the get-go. It shows you this man should have never had it from the start, from jump. Okay? Go ahead, brother.
And hath taken away thy blessing. Verse 36. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob?
So he's pretty much saying, his name is Jacob for a reason, right? Shouldn't I still have it? His name is supplanter, so he supplanted me. No, nigga. That's how it's supposed to happen. That's the way the cookie crumbles. It's an omen, exactly. And you can see upon these devils' faces daily that they still don't like us from the beginning. Ultimately, the reason why they're kicking our asses still, shooting you dead in the streets, putting drugs in your neighborhoods, is because they envy the fact that we had that birthright. That's right. Okay? We have a kingdom that's coming to us. Okay? That's why you're made a tabret amongst these people. A proverb and a byword, as the scriptures say.
That's right, brother.
All right? Ultimately, they hated you from the womb. We hated each other from the womb. We was fighting in the womb, as the scriptures say. Okay? And now all of a sudden you want to be friends with them. Oh, we're friends, it's all good, it's all in the past. No, man, the Most High has a certain judgment set up for these people, man. He has a certain judgment, which we call, what the scriptures call indignation, set up for them. For what they've done to us, the people, for how they walk. When I say for how they walk, their ways of life, how they carry themselves. They want to live off carnality, they're going to die that way. You want to live by the sword, you can die by the sword. That's just how it goes at the end of the day, because it shows that the Most High is ultimately balanced. And the reason why I went to Jacob, because again, like I mentioned before, it wasn't meant for Esau to get it anyway. You saw he was willing to give it up for. Something up to now, some food, some raw food at that. Not saying doing it for food, whether it's cooked or raw, it makes it better or worse. But it just shows how carnal this man is, man, how profane this devil is. He want to talk about how Jacob went to him all subtle. Man, y'all the most subtle creatures in the planet Earth, man. Look how you beguiled Eve. You came to her subtly. So now you're trying to talk about how Jacob did it subtly, man. Look what you do. Is that not balance? It had to. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, on the way over here, me and his brother was talking about these sports figures now, man.
Yep.
How, through the spirit, how they supplanting the so-called white man. You can sit here and write Jake them contracts. Jake ain't biting their tongue no more. Now, you got Jake who gonna sit there and be coons. Well, you know, nah, man. Like the brother said, look, man. Jake is saying, look, man, y'all ain't never liked us in this country, man.
Never.
Y'all ain't never dug us, man. And that bullshit national anthem song was written by a slave owner. That song was written for the free. Yeah. Like what's his name? Charles Woodson said. He said we wasn't free when that song was written.
Gone, brother.
So that goes in perfectly beautifully to what the brother's saying, because the so-called white man's like, well, no. Look, scripture saying, well, yes, this is what that is. Yep. All that shit from 2,000 years ago to now is what that's talking about, man. Sure. It's time. It's right. Esau don't like us, we don't like him, man.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles. That's all it is, like Trent Dilfer, for example, like we was talking about. How Trent Dilfer, this is how proud Esau is, man. He had the nerve to say, well, a backup quarterback shouldn't have anything to say. Yeah. Man, wasn't you a backup most of your life? Yeah. You got a Super Bowl, cool. But after that, what did you do? Even though this what we're talking about has nothing to do with sports, but it shows how proud he is to the point where Colin Kaepernick, which, I mean, if he wakes up, that'll be cool. If he don't, it is what it is. But this is a man that took a stand and recognized the fact that there's a devil running this place and our people getting shot and dead in the streets. So you mean to tell me the only way you can say something about that is if you're a starter? If you starting, like, what type of sense does that make?
If I can say this, like the brother says, not going into sports, but anybody who follows sports know Colin Kaepernick was a standout athlete. Man. For hundreds of millions of dollars. Stop.
Just 2 years ago, y'all was considering him to be the greatest NFL player ever.
He was up there with Cam Newton.
Yes.
So stop playing, Trent.
Went to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know, let's continue reading the subject. I don't want to digress too much, but again, the reason why we're bringing these points out is because we're talking about this devil's subtlety, you know? And he tries to push stuff on us, but actuality, he's the main one that does it. He's the biggest hypocrite on the planet Earth.
That's right, brother.
So we're gonna call this devil out for all the atrocities that he's done and all his hypocrisies, okay? Go ahead.
I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna start back at 36.
Cool.
This is Genesis chapter 27, verse 36. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times.
Crying and bitching, excuse my language, to him. It's not his name, Jacob. He done it many times. All right, man, go ahead.
Come on, brother. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing.
He said he had taken away his birthright. Did he not give it to him for some raw meat and lentils?
He ain't a liar,
That's
man.
him going with them lies again. The same stuff he does to you, the same stuff he does to you when you walk in their neighborhoods. Like it was a situation, I believe, it was a few years ago, this before we was in the camp, but the brother Sakari had mentioned this to us. When it was an Edomite lady that was up there listening, and they got to, you know, of course, words got exchanged back and forth, nothing new. But of course, she walked over to the alley, and then the cops come up like, oh, yeah, there's a lady that called the police and said y'all stole her purse. You know, if brothers in the camp before that, they might be able to explain it better than I can, but it's a story that the brother had mentioned to me one time. So it just goes to the lies that this devil perpetuates, you know? Before we continue on that one, go to the book, actually, I'm gonna hold that and go to Psalms chapter 58, and you can start at verse 3. Because this is the progenitor of lies. This man has a forked tongue. And of course, I'm gonna put this out there for edification of the camera. Are we saying that all people that look white are bad? No, we're talking about Edomites. Right. You got some that might look like Edomites. You got some of us that might look like Moabites. Some of them that might look like what's the Polynesian, the water Polynesian, which are Japhites. You know, but ultimately it goes into your spirit. And according to the seed. But you know an Edomite when you see one. I'm just put it like that, man. Yeah, you know an Edomite when you see one.
Tell about that spirit, man.
Tell about that spirit. Try the spirit by the spirit.
Right. This is Psalms 58 and 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb.
The wicked are estranged from the womb. Okay? And who is the wicked? That's the so-called white man.
That's right.
And you can really just take that to 2/3 of our people too, but ultimately when you read the scripture, it's talking about the so-called white man. They're estranged from the womb. As soon as they come out the womb, they're speaking lies and speaking deceit. Okay? Did they not just do that to Jacob when we just read this verse? Talking about how he had taken or stolen the birthright?
Didn't that Ryan Lockett do that over there in Brazil?
Man.
Because he didn't want to get in trouble?
Boy. If y'all don't know, go ahead.
Yeah, Jake speaks the truth. They lose endorsement deals.
Yep.
For now, this is the so-called white man, Brandon Marshall. You know, once again, we're not going into sports, but hey, the Lord done took it there, man. The Lord done took it there. You may see us the next 10 weeks talking about the NFL according to the scriptures and prophecy, man. Because Jake is tired, man. But that's a beautiful point. Come out speaking lies. This nigga on Dancing with the Stars, and now they trying to take, you know Jake's little goodies or what have you, man.
God, brother.
George Zimmerman.
Yeah, beautiful, man.
Where the old line Genesis 49 talk about, man. And you see a lot of these Jakes out here in the sports world, like brothers mentioning, who shall rouse them up? Well, they getting roused up now. Yep. After you see your people being decimated for so long, being destroyed, Jake's starting to realize the fact that this is a devil, and that's why you got new fruit coming to the camp now. You look all over the four corners of the earth and you see new fruit sprouting everywhere. Because they know deep down something isn't right. And that's how it happened with all of us. We knew something deep down wasn't right. Whether you came up with the Illuminati, like looking at the Illuminati, whether you came up just knowing the white man was the devil, whether you came up listening to Louis Farrakhan, not saying he's righteous in any type of way, but some of us had woke up in some type of way to realize that something wasn't right in this world. America's very sinister, okay? Go ahead, brother.
This is Psalms 58. I'm going to start back at 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born.
They go astray as soon as they be born. That's why when the Lord comes back, he says slay utterly old and young. He talks about picking up those baby by the legs, according to Psalms 137, I believe, and dashing their head against the stones, man. Right, yeah. Because those babies are wicked. Right. They're estranged from the womb. And by the way, they was doing that to us when they came over here. They did it to the Northern Kingdom.
That's right.
You know? Go ahead.
They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
Speaking the truth.
Speaking lies.
Speaking peace and love.
Speaking lies.
That's what they did when they came over here. That's what they always do. Right. They'll portray that they your friend. Oh, hey, Jamal, what's going on, man? You trying to smoke some weed? As soon as you get pulled over by the cops, hey, it's his, he did it. Yeah. That's just how they are, man. That's right. They came over here to a peaceable multitude. The scriptures talk about, according to 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, talk about the peaceable multitude, the 10 other tribes that came over here, when they came here, they did nothing but show this devil love. Did nothing but show him love. And what did he do? He gave him a hug and stabbed him right in the back. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
And if I could say something real, it's gonna be real quick. Even with the Gadites, you know, when Christopher Columbus came down here, he told like the Queen of England, like, look, these Native Americans, they're so friendly. They've helped us out so much that we have to take them down. God. He was it was in his heart to take down the Gadites. You know what I'm saying? You know, like he was like, they helping us. They're helping us bathe. They're helping us plant. They're teaching us things, man. They're so nice, man. Shit. They would want us to rule over them. You know.
And even when that's a beautiful point that you brought out. Because he had also said that the certain rulers over there, like King Ferdinand,
Yeah.
he put lies on them. Like it said, speaking lies, and he said these were savage people. That's
Yeah.
why they call them Indians. That's why they call them savage. That's what it really pretty much just means, a savage. Saying that they had dog faces and they ate human flesh. This devil is so sinister, he would actually get a sword, and they would have contests to see whose sword was sharper.
Yep.
And what they would do, they would line all the Gadites up,
Cut
all the
their ass
Tainos up for every land they was, because it wasn't only the Gadites they did it to, but all those lands of Northern Kingdom, they would go to those places and they would cut them in half just to see how sharp their sword was. They would do it for contest.
Yep.
They would do it just for being a hunter, I guess, you know, like the scriptures talk about, a cunning hunter. Just for gain's sake, just for fun's sake. What they would do to the babies, they would actually throw the babies and adults in bowls, in big buckets of, I guess ditches, big ditches of soap, burning soap, okay? Shalakia. My bad. But yeah, that just goes into how he speaks lies. But he went up there and told King Ferdinand, who I believe was the king of Spain, he told him that these were savage people. He lied to him and said that they eat humans. So we have to take these people out, okay? That's why this devil has to go down the way he goes down. He went all over the place speaking lies, spewing deceit. It talks about his poison being like the poisons of vipers.
Yep.
Okay, so that's a damn serpent who actually evolved into a dragon now today. Okay? Go ahead, brother.
Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely.
Keep going.
Break their teeth, O God, in their mouth.
Break their teeth, because when what do you use teeth for? Teeth are used for chewing up and devouring. When you eat, you chew something up. And that's what they've been doing to our people. They've been taking us out, chewing us up. Of course, not physically. Well, you got even shit devils that was probably doing that back then, man. But he's talking about breaking their teeth, so they're not able to devour no more.
Yeah, their power.
So that's their power structure, exactly.
Their military
So they're not able
might.